Chinese police visit Bain's Shanghai office. Chinese police pay visit to Shanghai offices of US consultancy giant Bain. Taiwan calls up women reservists for military training amid heightened tensions with Chinese regime. Unemployment pushes young Chinese to temples seeking solace. Project 912, how the Chinese regime uses social media to harass its critics and dissidents. Bloomberg, Shanghai team handles tech tasks in Binance US.
Chinese law enforcement officers have recently paid an unannounced visit to the Shanghai offices of Bain and Company and questioned its employees. According to the Financial Times, the unexpected visit took place around mid-April. Two people briefed on the situation said they confiscated computers and phones, but arrested no one. The US management consulting firm said, "We can confirm that the Chinese authorities have questioned staff in our Shanghai office. We are cooperating as appropriate with the Chinese authorities." There was more than just one visit, according to 3 other unnamed sources, but the exact number and time are not disclosed. It is known that the stopovers began after the Beijing offices of American due diligence firm Mintz Group were raided and staff detained in March. The Financial Times reported that Bain has over 200 staff in China. Its consultants have worked with a range of Chinese companies, from tech leader Alibaba to electric vehicle newcomer Li Auto. The firm has formed a strong connection with senior officials through the International Business Leaders Advisory Council, a respected advisory group to the Shanghai mayor, where most of Bain's China team is situated. Yet this reflects a trend when considering the mysterious arrest of the China-based Japanese executive of drug maker Astellas. Kenji Minamura, a senior research fellow at the Cannon Institute for Global Studies, told the Wall Street Journal the executive was a China aficionado. He said, "He loved China. He voluntarily raised his hand to work in China." It is still unknown why the police visited Bain, and whether it was related to the elite consulting firm itself or one of its customers. The Bain episode spells the latest reality check on Beijing's charm offensive to court overseas business and investment. It also came as relations between China and the US have become increasingly strained. According to Taiwan News, Taiwan's defense ministry announced that it would carry out a plan in 2023 to start military training for women reservists. The ministry said that the first Taiwanese group of women veterans was asked for the military training exercises on May 8th. They are required to report to a tactical position in Taoyuan City near Taipei. Here, they will undergo up to 7 days of the same training as their male counterparts. The announcement came along with its annual Hankwang military drills next month. The exercises will focus on preserving the fighting capability of its armed forces and combating a blockade of the island. Reuters reported that Taiwan's annual military drills would start with tabletop exercises from May 15th to the 19th, and then live fire exercises would occur. Unlike men, Taiwanese women serving in the military are not mandatory, but women can join as volunteers. According to its military data, over 25,000 women now serve in Taiwan's armed forces, representing 15% of the island's 180,000 active-duty personnel. Taiwan currently has about 8,900 women reservists. This year, 220 women veterans will be asked to participate in reservist training. It's estimated that 68 will take part in exercises in May, and the remaining 152 will train in the fall.
China currently has 11.58 million graduates facing a dismal job market. Frustrated by the disturbing reality, many young unemployed people are finding solace by going to the temples to pray. Reuters reported on April 27th that, according to Trip.com, the proportion of Chinese visiting temples has increased by 310% over the same period in 2022. About half of them were born after 1990. Wang Xiaoning, who is jobless, said, "I hope to find some peace in temples." Wang, 22, adds, "The pressure of finding a job and housing costs have been overwhelming." Chen, a 19-year-old who went to Lama Temple in Beijing to pray for good luck in her career, said, "The threshold for employment keeps rising." She added, "The pressure is overwhelming." Shi Xiang is a 25-year-old woman with a master's degree. However, since February, she has submitted about 10 job applications daily, but has not found a job as expected. She shared, I've seen a psychologist a few times because I was very anxious and depressed. The CCP's imposition of its zero COVID policy based on lockdown for 3 years is considered one of the main reasons for China's severe unemployment problem. According to Reuters, 20%, a record number of young Chinese, are currently unemployed. Unemployment is giving the CCP regime a headache as it is under pressure to create 12 million new jobs in 2013, up from 11 million last year. The U.S. continues to uncover various tactics used by the Chinese Communist Party to implement pro-party rhetoric on social media while sowing discord among its opponents and manipulating information to destabilize society. U.S. prosecutors filed detailed court documents describing the work of a team of CCP-run police officers called the Special Project 912 Task Force, which has been very active in recent years. Their mission? To use fake Facebook accounts on Meta platforms, Alphabet's YouTube and Twitter to promote narratives favorable to the CCP, stoke social and political tensions in the United States, intimidate foreign enemies of the CCP, and undermine public critics of the regime who have sought refuge abroad. Some of Project 912's online harassment victims include one of the student leaders of the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests and also a virologist who fled China. The prosecution reports do not identify the injured parties by name. One of them matches the description of Guo Wengui, a billionaire businessman known for his harsh criticism of the Chinese regime. According to the complaint, his social accounts were monitored daily while he was discredited on platforms such as Facebook through posts issued by Project 912 members. Another case reported by prosecutors tells how the 912 group interrupted video conferences of Chinese descendants in the United States and attacked their relatives in China, putting the father of one of them under house arrest. U.S. prosecutors identified the Beijing Municipal Public Security Bureau as Project 912's center of operations. Its members are instructed to create and maintain various social media accounts on a specific platform. Leaders point out the different objectives and specific topics on which to work. For example, on the second anniversary of George Floyd's death, one of their platforms focused on accusing police institutions of racism and brutality. To mitigate allegations about the possible leakage and origins of COVID in China, the group was ordered to incite on networks an investigation of U.S. virus labs in an effort to counter allegations against the Chinese regime. Ya Ian-chung, a political science professor at the University of Singapore, said the indictment by U.S. prosecutors against Project 912 is notable for its identification of Chinese officials involved in such an operation, including their photographs. The various directions that the task force attempts to shape the narrative indicate that in addition to seeking to increase support for PRC positions, significant energy appears to be devoted to creating confusion and division. They also seek to suppress negative messages about the PRC, including harassment of dissidents. According to prosecutors, Project 912 members see their work as a way to fight China's adversaries, so its hostile nature should be viewed more seriously.
Bloomberg has reported that the largest staking platform in the US is currently hiring a Shanghai crew to undertake technical works. Two close sources divulged that Binance US, the Florida affiliate of global crypto exchange Binance, employs around 100 contract workers, most of whom are in engineering and product positions. An intention to move some of the people to North America has been sluggish over the past year. One source disclosed that Binance US began in 2019 using resources and staff from the international site, which at the time had operations in China. Gradually, other sources said some of the Shanghai workers moved to the US site, but the firm did not stop hiring new contractors in the city. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission has already accused Binance US as merely a demo site for finding major local clients for the giant cryptocurrency exchange Binance. This practice is said to have breached US federal law. Bloomberg noted that the CFTC complaint did not acknowledge the Shanghai workforce, nor mention their China links. It makes no mention of the Shanghai contract staff and doesn't raise concerns with past or current operations in China. The workforce scale is minor and isn't considered illegal according to US law. However, former senior US officials told the publication that any China links would attract attention from the authorities. A Binance spokesperson said that Binance US was founded with an agreement with the Binance.com tech team to develop the tech infrastructure and offer other kinds of support for the new US regulated exchange. The person said, "This kind of agreement was not unusual. And in fact, the founding team had previously licensed the tech stack to other non-Binance affiliated organizations as well." The spokesperson said that the exchange had moved hundreds of full-time staff to Europe and the Middle East over the years. The person added that Binance US also has a Vancouver office with about 100 full-time employees, including the product head. The Financial Times reported in March that parent firm Binance had moved its extensive China operations underground for years since the Beijing crackdown.